Good morning, Sacramento. Okay, look at me. Now is the time for sitting down. Conversations can happen later, but right now we need to be devoted to making this event a success. So once again, good morning, Sacramento. I'm Richard Lewis, and I'm unemployed. Actually retired. So now is a good time to sit down, take your seats, get squared away, turn off your cell phones and any other noise-making devices that you have. And if you have a pager, really, get a cell phone. Also, take a moment now to locate the exit nearest you in case of an emergency. Thank you for your cooperation. Look how wonderful you are all being. Everybody's sitting down. Get a cup of coffee. Oh, this is terrific. All right, well, I want to welcome you to the State of Downtown, Downtown Sacramento Partnership, State of Downtown Breakfast. This is a terrific opportunity for everybody to find out what the heck is going on around here. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the current chair of the Downtown Sacramento Partnership. I believe his name is Kipp Blewett. Where are you, Kipp? Oh, there he is now.
Gentlemen, Richard Lewis, 50 years at the musical theater and part of the vision that brought you this building along with the mayor and Mike Testa. So can we have a round of applause for the building and for Richard Lewis? So good morning, and thank you for spending your mornings with us. There have actually been 25 of these prior. So this is one of the longest standing events in Sacramento. I want to take a quick minute on behalf of the board to recognize Denton Kelly, our outgoing chair. Where is Denton? Can I have a round of applause for Denton? Right over here. And a round of applause for all the board members and the staff who put this event on. I do want to recognize my fellow executive committee members, Nancy Park, Angelo G. Sakopoulos, Jamie Desmond Eisen, our newest member, John Reinhardt, and Howard Chan. The board asked me to do two things. One is to note that obviously none of this would be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. So I'm going to mention the lead sponsor, Stantec. You're going to hear more from David Dixon, one of the fathers of downtowns around the country later on. And the rest of our lead sponsors, SMUD, Sacramento Kings, Kaiser, Sakopoulos Investments. And note that we get generous support from both the city and the county. Other sponsors will appear throughout the program. Again, please thank them for helping us to put on an event that has, I think, 900 people attending. Thank you. The second thing the board, though, asked me to do is to recognize Michael Ault and his staff. The P-bid, which is sort of wonk speak, for the organization that is the Downtown Partnership is one of the oldest in the state. And this event celebrates the 66-block area that is the purview of Michael Ault and all of his staff. And I wanted to assure you on behalf of the board that Michael Ault has put together an incredible staff, a staff that has met the challenges of protests, of COVID, of economic development, is ready to meet the challenges that you're going to hear before us, and also reach in to some of the opportunities. So for a second, Danielle Biller and Michael Ault, his deputy director, have put together an incredible staff. Scott Ford in economic development, Liz Lauraland Williams, Lance McDaniel, and we've got then the people who are making us look good tonight, Madeline Smith, Amelia Chu, and Maria, I'm going to get this right, Espiritu. So a round of applause for Michael Ault. So we have challenges before us. But I think that, again, the board wanted us to recognize that that is a team that can meet the challenges, but also look into the defining moments that are before us. So just for a second, Michael Ault's going to give you the state of the downtown. It is a speech, and he has got a comprehensive vision for what's going to go on. But we're about to embark on a 10-year renewal of the downtown partnership. We're going to be looking to all of you to set a vision for what that looks like. So I want to call out two things in Michael Ault's speech that I think are noteworthy. They're both data-driven things, but they're going to shape the thinking of this board as we move forward into the next 10 years. There are two items that I wanted to draw your attention to in Michael's speech. One is that they're both defining moments, and we all need to rise to these defining moments. The first one has a really big number attached to it. $4.3 billion of economic impact over the next 20 years. Let that sink in for a minute. Well, what is that all about? Well, as the board embarks on this strategic process with many of the partners in this room, we are thinking about, well, what is downtown? What is it? What are our assets? It's time to take inventory of those assets. First and foremost, Sacramento has always been a government employment center. And by the numbers, that's true. There are 20 million square feet of office space in this 66-block area and our sister planning area, the rail yards. 20 million square feet, half of that is state-owned. What's happened? What's changed? What's going to change in the next 10 years? Well, work from home is settling in. And it's settling in more in state capitals than anywhere else, any other city center. So what that translates to, just to put it in perspective for you all, is that we have traditionally been a government employment center that enjoyed 100,000 people coming downtown within 1 mile, greater if you move out the rings. 100,000 people. To give you an idea, there's about 1,000 people in this room, so that should put in perspective how big the office inventory is now. The state of California is embracing a work-from-home strategy. The governor has said they're coming back 2 days a week. By mathematics, though, that means we will lose up to 60% of the office workers, about half of the 100,000, 50,000, really quick math, 30,000 workers that we used to have coming downtown are no longer coming downtown. So you're going to hear from Sanjay Varshney, used to work at Sacramento State, or excuse me, still works at Sacramento State, used to be the dean. He's done a comprehensive study. You'll hear that in Michael Ault's speech. So the first defining moment, and Denton Kelly in one of our planning sessions said, hey, that is so big, Kipp, that is a base closing moment. Michael Ault will talk a little bit more about that. The second kind of moment is, and the second thing I'm going to draw your attention to within Michael Ault's speech, is we have prepared a study in response to that from ULI, Urban Land Institute, it's a real estate group, to really study what is the best realignment that we could have. We want to look at this more hopefully. What is the kind of realignment that would successfully replace that kind of loss? Well, for a moment, let's talk about housing. There's, again, about 1,000 people in this room. There's only about 3,000 permanent residents within the city limits of Sacramento. Or excuse me, within the limits of the 66-block area. There's more like 500,000 within the city limits of Sacramento. So what the ULI study concluded was we have another moment, a generational moment to move Sacramento from being a government employment center to something that has entertainment and a destination of choice at its core. Their conclusion was civic amenities. So for a moment, we take these two moments together. There's opportunity here, and the opportunity is this, is as those properties come onto the tax roll, it actually creates money. It creates a considerable amount of money. This area, 43% of the property taxes come from 5% of the area. So there's real opportunity here. 53% of the downtown parcels do not pay property taxes. So there's two moments in here, and for a second, let's envision a new partnership with the state, a new definition of what it means to be a state capital, maybe with some amenities that stretch along Capitol Mall. Scott Ford's idea of connecting the Capitol Mall with our dynamic riverfront and our emerging rail yards. For a second, let's imagine that there's a partnership with the state, with you all and with the state to bring forward an incredibly rich set of state-oriented amenities akin to the National Mall. Those are the kinds of opportunities and strategy that we're looking at for the next 10 years as we peak into renewal. You're going to hear a lot more about that this morning. So what can you all do? What can you all do? Well, we have our partner organizations in this: GSAC, Visit Sacramento, Metro Chamber, Valley Vision. We also have Mayor Steinberg and the council. We have City Manager and Howard Chan. But the second thing we're doing, and Michael Ault is leading this charge, is he's reaching out to partners at the state level, reaching toward the governor's office with new partnerships that he's put together with DGS, Visit California, and the governor's office. And I would be remiss in not mentioning one of our great partners in this is Senator Angelique Ashby. I don't think she's here, but Senator Ashby has been a real champion for this visioning process. So we're going to look to all of you to talk about how does Sacramento become a destination of choice. We're going to look into the next 10 years. We're going to be looking for leadership and resources from you all. So again, thank you very much for coming. Doris Matsui, Congressmember Doris Matsui, was scheduled to be here. And I would be remiss in not mentioning her, because when we talk about leadership and resources, Doris always comes to mind. When we talk about a defining moment, a generational moment, or a base closing moment, she's going to be a full partner in this. Michael has reached out to her with his relationship with her. We'll be meeting with her in DC. So let's have a round of applause for Congressmember Matsui, who's got many things at the Capitol she's got to deal with. I'll move off the stage here, but I want to introduce, because we talk about resources and infrastructure, and one of our great partners locally here is the creativity of SMUD and Frankie McDermott. When we talk about building housing or EVs, it requires a forward-looking utility. So ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Frankie McDermott.
I was going to shake your hand. They told me to come up that side.
You're coming the other way. Thank you.
See you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank the Downtown Sacramento Partnership team for putting everything together, and also being part of the board for several years now. It's great to be part of such a professional organization investing in downtown. A little about my story. I moved here from Ireland about 35 years ago, and I'm not here to tell you like 20 minutes of my background, don't worry. But my wife and I arrived in, it doesn't matter when we arrived, but we were here in March of 1990, and what do Irish people do? Come downtown and go to the St. Patrick's Day parade. It was our first time in downtown, and I remember having this impression of downtown cities in the US compared to like the center of cities in Ireland, or the engines of the area, really. And this wasn't. It seemed pretty boring on the weekend, quite frankly, and not very alive because everything was shut down at the weekend. So we were quite disappointed, but you know, we watched the parade and then we went to the suburbs afterwards. But there's a real change there, right? When you look at downtown now, and it's the engine of the area, the entertainment center, and a lot of it has to do with the Golden One Center. So to bring this back to the connection to SMUD, when the Golden One Center was being planned, SMUD was an entity that we were pretty decent to do business with, but quite frankly fragmented in terms of energy needs, energy delivery needs. We send you to one department. You want to talk about solar, another department, EVs, another department. We're pretty decentralized, which wasn't good for you, and probably wasn't very efficient for SMUD either. So at the birth of the Golden One Center and that whole planning piece, we decided quite humorously, we're not going to be the reason why it doesn't open on time. So we created a group called Commercial Development to be a real one-stop shop to facilitate all projects in our region, which includes most all of Sacramento County and a little piece of Placer County. This was a big breakthrough for us, and also became something hopefully several of you would advocate that it was a good move on our part. In fact, it should be invisible to you, but we've been able to, I'd like to think, be a big part of the growth in downtown and helping to facilitate that. And we made a goal at the time. It's pretty ambitious, but we wanted to be simply the best company to do business with in the region. And we constantly try to improve that. The whole SMUD team is over here. I can't see anything with the lights, but they're over here. So thank you to all of them also. And so we're dedicated to facilitating and accelerating growth in the downtown area. And that's also in parallel with our goal of removing all carbon from our generating resources by 2030. So what does that mean here? Thank you. Was that one person clapping? Thank you, that was thanks, Michael. Michael's got me laughing now. So we really are trying to do this through regional partnerships, collaborative, inclusive economic development. What does all that mean? SMUD's mission is to enhance the lives of our customers and community, and do that in all of our community with no communities left behind. So really encourage you to work with us on this mission. It's great for the region. We've seen the air clean up decently over the last 30 years. There's no reason why we can't eliminate our carbon by 2030 and continue forward. So we'll help you in that journey. We'll do it while keeping our rates the lowest in California. That's where you clap, by the way. Thank you for that, and it's a pleasure again being part of the Downtown Sacramento Partnership Board, and it's my honor now to introduce the president of the SMUD Board of Directors and the highest LGBTQ elected official in the city, our own Rosanna Herber.
It's such a pleasure to be here with you this morning. I'm Rosanna Herber, the SMUD Board President, and I'm joined here today by Board Member Rob Kurth, Board Member Brandon Rose, and Vice President Greg Fishman. I always stumble on that. I was so excited about what Kipp had to say about Senator Ashby wanting to work with the downtown to make it more vibrant and to raise the level. And I'm really excited that the woman who came in first for the assembly seat is here. And let's give a round of applause to Maggie Krell. She's gonna be one of those folks who brings money to the downtown. And now, my job today. It's my pleasure to welcome to the stage Police Chief Kathy Lester, the 2023 awardee of the JVance Community Service Award. SMUD is proud to have worked with both the awarded bike until last year, as well as the 2024 awardee, which you will see here today. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Chief Kathy Lester.
Sacramento friends, I'm up here with Captain Bryce Heinlein, who is your downtown commander, and we were the recipients of this award last year, and so it's really my honor to be here. The JVance Stewart Community Service Award honors a founding member of the Downtown Sacramento Partnership's Homeless Outreach Navigator Program, JVance Stewart, who passed away in 2011. In his memory, this award recognizes an organization or an individual with a passion for serving others and improving the quality of life in downtown Sacramento. This year, that individual is Mr. Ernesto Delgado of the La Cosecha restaurant in Chavez Park. La Cosecha is Mr. Delgado's third restaurant. It's visible from all four corners of the park and seems to be as much of an outdoor venue as an indoor venue. Believe it or not, there was a time when Ernesto said he would never start another restaurant again, but thank goodness he changed his mind, because where would we be as a city without Mayahuel, just a few blocks away, Sal's Tacos, or across the river, or Meso Mercado. And La Cosecha is really different. Ernesto's dream was to enhance a long overlooked and challenged plaza by creating a beautiful environment and showcasing our unique downtown from every angle. His dream has led to more than great food and signature cocktails. I can attest as a customer, the margaritas are to die for. And I have heard him talk about his mother and the love he felt in her kitchen. And that love, for sure, shows through in the great dishes and a sense of place that we, the Sacramento community, are able to share. La Cosecha is more than just a restaurant, and Ernesto is more than just an owner. Ernesto sees beauty and potential where others just simply walk by. He sees our plaza, like the famed Zocalo in Mexico City, as a hub of community and a centerpiece of gatherings. This kind of attention to detail and dedication to a cause has enhanced our downtown and Sacramento culture, especially our growing Latino culture, through events that he has sponsored like classic car shows and black and white films, which showcase the Mexican culture in the spirit of Cesar Chavez. So what sets him apart? In his own words, he says, "I love what I do. This is not just a business. It's a culture, an experience. It's believing in what you're doing and having faith that you are doing the right thing." I recently listened to a podcast that was sponsored by Visit Sac. Thank you, Mike Testa. And he says that the pandemic was the hardest thing he ever did. But he followed his heart and he did what he thought was best. And to do that, you must have passion and you must have purpose. Our friend Dion, our mutual friend, compares him to a shark. He says, like a shark, his eyes are always open, he doesn't seem to rest, and he's always moving forward. And our now Captain Jen Lagon, who's attended many meetings at La Cosecha to really better our downtown, told me that Ernesto is always working to see how we can do better as a city, how his staff can do things differently, and is constantly striving for the best in himself. And I really believe that these are critical traits that every leader should have. Ernesto says that it's not just his job to serve guests, but to amaze them. I think that we can all agree that Ernesto's passion and purpose have transformed our central plaza and city in a way that you cannot ignore its beauty and its sense of purpose. So the Sacramento Police Department is honored to present Ernesto Delgado with the JVance Award on behalf of the Downtown Sacramento Partnership for his unwavering dedication to building a vibrant, accessible, community-oriented space within Cesar Chavez Plaza, and for his support within both the downtown Sacramento community as well as his contributions in activating spaces for underrepresented communities. Congratulations, Mr. Delgado.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's hard to be up here, but just want to say a few words. I'm honored to receive this award. I call it a passion and a curse. I love what I do to a fault, and it's just, you know, I love my city, and I love our city, and constantly looking for ways to make it better. I just want an amazing place to live, and I think Sacramento's it. It's a place that I've been here almost 30 years, and I drive in every day and just trying, and I'm a creative, as you know, I'm an artist at heart. So thank you to Downtown Partnership for recognizing me with this award. Let's make our city better. And I love to say, you know, we are all Sacramento. So let's make it better. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Imagine a place where dreams are nurtured, where diversity is celebrated, and where the spirit of unity prevails. Cesar Chavez Plaza Square is more than just a square. It's a testament to the power of progress and the resilience of a community. Cesar Chavez Plaza Square will be a hub of excitement, where the pulse of the city beats stronger than ever before. This is a space where our children will learn, grow, and shape a better tomorrow. As we come together to celebrate this remarkable endeavor, let us remember that the true beauty of Cesar Chavez Plaza Square lies in the hearts of those who will call it home. Together, we will create a legacy that will inspire generations to come.
Good morning. My name is Brendan Cohen, and I'm a biologist with Stantec. My colleagues and I are happy to introduce Michael Ault from the Downtown Sacramento Partnership, speaking to you today from the City of Trees. I'm sorry, they're telling me to say farm to fork capital. But I think Sacramento is both. We have a great connection to local farms and food production and a renowned urban forest. I often find myself at one of our farmers markets getting seasonal produce or surveying for Swainson's hawks in one of our cattle grazed vernal pool grasslands. I also truly love our commitment to urban forestry. And like our trees, I spread my roots deep through this community as soon as I chose myself to plant here. I have found that once people start pronouncing Sacramento without the T, they're hooked. As a field biologist, I survey for protected wildlife and habitats in areas where we grow our urban landscape. I see firsthand how we can enhance and protect both. I believe that creativity is the physical expression of our imagination. And everyone here today is connected through that creativity and passion for our desire to develop our personal and professional connections and roots here. The DSP has helped nourish the growth of this community, which is the trunk of the 5th largest economy on the globe and sets the tone of progress for the nation. My colleagues and I today all chose to relocate here and use our creativity through nature, architecture, and engineering to professionally contribute to this city. I love that Sacramento has numerous opportunities and enriching experiences paired with a neighborhood feel. I look forward to the next SAC chapter that is firmly rooted in our history and welcomes a new generation of transplants that drops the T. Next, I'm pleased to introduce my colleague, Kristin.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kristin, Hyatt, an architect, and like Brendan, I moved to Sacramento to start my career. And ever since then, I've gotten to enjoy and discover the Sacramento urban fabric. Something that I've noticed over the years is that there's always a space within walking distance to escape to, and my all-time favorite is the Rose Garden. Even in the middle of downtown, nature is cultivated to come in and soften the edges of our built environment and provide a gentle reprieve of our busy lives. The new apartment and mixed-use buildings blend with the historical and murals that peek out to provide color and warmth and showcase our lively Sacramento personality. Transformation happens when people like those here today come together with creativity, thought, and tenacity paired with the needs of the community. What I love about my job is that I get to talk with everybody and hear their stories. Those stories and lessons then foster how the needs and wants of Sacramento are woven into the urban fabric and displayed through the inspiring and safe designs of the buildings and spaces around them. Success for these projects means that people like my mom, who's in a wheelchair, can easily get from the car into the building and access all of the amenities inside. By utilizing universal design, Sacramento can craft itself to be a city for all. As an architect, I'm a steward for the backdrop of our daily lives, And there's always a little dopamine kick when I get to see the community make it its own. It's the many little touches and decisions that each of us make every day that creates and builds Sacramento up to make it the place where we all choose to be. And together we can make Sacramento exactly what it should be. And now to pass it on to my colleague, Sam.
Hi, I am Sam Grunklee, a civil engineer with the Community Development Team. June of last year, I decided to move across the country, escaping the extreme winters of Minnesota for Sacramento's summer heat. Now living in Midtown and working downtown gives me a very personal connection to our projects and the important work done by everyone in this room. Together, we are shaping the future of downtown by redeveloping underutilized sites, building new housing and community-serving developments, activating our city streets, and supporting multimodal transportation. This dynamic urban environment allows for walking to the office, grocery store, bars, restaurants, and parks. On weekends, we see our culture at free community events, such as concerts in the park. Community leaders such as Michael and Downtown Sacramento Partnership help to connect our people to a downtown that is being crafted into a vibrant place to live. We are transforming our city and redefining our region to show the world who we are. I love Sacramento, and I appreciate the opportunity to support the future of downtown. I could have moved anywhere in the world, but I chose to come here, and we all choose to call this our home for all of the amazing things that this city has to offer. We are honored to introduce our next key speaker, Michael Ault, the Executive Director of Downtown Sacramento Partnership. Michael has been a part of DSP since its fruition and has seen Sacramento evolve through many phases of growth and change over the years. Please give him a warm welcome to the stage.
Good morning. I think you've heard my name about 804 times, so there's no way you don't know who I am at this point. But let's give Stantec another round of applause. So I've been with the partnership almost 30 years, and clearly this event has been our opportunity not just to talk about the future, but talk about some of the successes. We're in the 29th year, and we are a year away from renewal of our own organization. Over the years, during these breakfasts, we've had plenty of opportunities to celebrate with you, but now I do feel like we're in the trenches together as we lay downtown's path forward. And so I want to be aspirational today. I want to have some conversation that we start talking about where we're going and be excited and work together. It's our honor to welcome you to our downtown breakfast. You can clap. So Sacramento, like every downtown across the country, is in a state of transition. There is not a downtown organization that is not trying to figure out what's next. And we know with change comes opportunity. It's a real chance for us in a moment to chart a new future. If we're not championing big ideas, we truly feel that we're managing decline. Over the past year, we've embraced the notion that in order to be successful, we must evolve from being a destination of obligation, as we heard, to being a destination of choice. To do that, we needed to focus and obsess over the fundamentals critical to a vibrant urban center. So what did we do? We increased our public space services over 30%. We know perception is not only critical, but mandatory if we are going to achieve success. We fought for common sense policies to further future investment capital in our region. I greatly appreciate the support of Supervisor Cerna. I think he's right here. He and the county gave us some additional resources that really will help us focus on some of these key areas. We added downtown resources to address the needs of the most vulnerable and directly connect them to much needed services. This work focuses on empathy through action and would not have been achievable without the many partners from the public sector that are in the room with us today. I want to acknowledge Brian Pedro, the Director of Community Response, our Assistant City Manager, Mario Lara, the entire city staff, Peter Lemos with Code Enforcement for their involvement in supporting us. I'm not sure where he's at, but I think we all deserve some appreciation for our city manager, Howard Chan, our police chief, Kathy Lester, and our captain, Bryce Heinlein. They have been relentless in resources to provide for the city core, and we appreciate that. We also altered our Calling All Dreamers business incubator program with a changing landscape downtown, and I know this year's cohorts are with us, some here today. These owners of unique concepts parallel downtown story. We honor their diversity and integrity that they bring to our community. So we created comfortable spaces, increased visitation into the district, and increased sales tax downtown. We leveraged our community partnerships, elevated creatives, and supported events and activations with outside event producers. I'd like to thank Assemblymember Kevin McCarty for his support in making a lot of these events and activations possible. We're also happy to announce this year, and this is an opportunity for you to break out your roller skates, we will be having a downtown roller rink. Chris Delfino, a professional roller skater, I know is super excited about it. But with our partners at the Hall of Fame who are here with us today, we think it's going to be a great opportunity. So through everything this last year, we fought to bring value downtown. We educated, we influenced, we activated, but it also marked the turning point in the future of downtown, and a turning point really in my own perspective. This is an opportunity for us to embrace new opportunities that are going to redefine our central city. 10 years ago, we seized that moment when the Sacramento Kings were going to leave California. We doubled down as a community to build the Golden One Center, and it is now the highest performing ticket sales venue in the country. We now need to capitalize on the momentum that Mike Testa and his team at Visit Sacramento have created within the leisure economy. Through their festivals and venues like this, the Safe Credit Union Convention Center, they have made a huge difference and continue to put Sacramento on the map, and we thank them. So bottom line, we need to invest in people. From the child who ice skates for the first time at Ali Yousefi Square, to the returning graduate who attends a Kings game at the Golden One Center, to the senior citizen who has access to housing and health care at the brand new state-of-the-art medical facility coming to the rail yards. These are the brightest reflections of what we can accomplish when we take ownership in creating vibrant central neighborhoods for everyone. So while our team was laying the groundwork and addressing the here and now, we were also working with local economists and national city planners to focus on our future. We realized that with faster reactive responses to downtown concerns, we also needed to be equally proactive. We invested more in studies and economic modeling because data should drive these decisions. Outside of Washington, D.C., and this is important, no other city center in the country is more impacted by government remote work policies than Sacramento. 70% of the office inventory in the central city is owned or leased by the public sector. Prior to 2020, the state of California employed 70,000 employees in the downtown area. So we needed to get an accurate perspective, an independent view, if you will, on our current landscape. As Kipp talked about, we retained Dr. Sanjay Varshney to really commission a study that modeled the impacts of work from home. And as we heard, if Sacramento continued on its current path, we would be looking at a loss of over $4.3 billion over the next 20 years. This is the reality if we do not do something drastic. But successful cities turn deficits into assets and disasters into definitive moments. 30 years ago, when Sacramento's 3 military bases closed, a realignment strategy came with that decision, a proactive approach to a unified vision to ensure successful implementation. We are here today at our own base closing moment. We can no longer expect office workers to simply return to 2019 levels. The world has changed, and we must evolve if we are going to stay and be a competitive city. If we are truly going to be a destination of choice for residents, event attendees, aspiring entrepreneurs, for the creative economy, and yes, still in-office personal collaboration, then we should be focused on motivating rather than mandating. Office space will still be a strong foundation for downtown. It fuels collaboration and innovation. We have missed many of you downtown, but we have been over-reliant. We must diversify our portfolio to one that also focuses on the key components of building a well-rounded downtown that is worth living in. Earlier this month, we hosted, as you heard, an Urban Land Institute technical advisory panel. I want to thank Randy Sater and Mary Clemente for leading that. We brought downtown experts to Sacramento and had them interview local developers, city staff, Sacramento placemakers, industry leaders to identify key areas of opportunity for downtown. I know she's not here today, but I do want to acknowledge Senator Ashby for her leadership in forming this panel and her advocacy and commitment to strengthen downtown at the state level and impact our region. This will be just one of the tools that the partnership will use to usher in this new era of opportunity as we look at renewal of our business improvement district. We will release the panel's formal recommendation after our breakfast today. Follow the Downtown Partnership's LinkedIn page. You will find all of this information there. So this once-in-a-generation moment will take many leaders, stakeholders, studies, and investments to do something of this magnitude. We know that. Every phase of the creation of the new downtown will require participation from every person in this room. What we're going to do is focus on 5 key priorities. First, let's play to our strengths, things we know that work. Arts and entertainment create value downtown and provide investment potential. Not only has visitation and hospitality recovered the fastest, but entertainment districts distinguish urban cores from suburbs and attract residents to our region. We must continue to grow residential downtown. Many of you in the room are housing developers. Keep it up. We need you. This work makes a difference. Residents add vitality and support local businesses. We all want more residents downtown. One of the key things we heard in the study, focus on the missing middle. Create residential neighborhoods that include, yes, housing, but also require amenities that make people want to live here and be part of an urban neighborhood. We must enhance existing open spaces and green Sacramento streets. We have underutilized spaces like Cesar Chavez Plaza, which we've worked on with Councilmember Katie Valenzuela, and other spaces like Capitol Mall and the waterfront. We must transform them into inviting third places for families and outdoor venues. I want to take this opportunity to thank and acknowledge our mayor, Darrell Steinberg, for his support, yes, of the waterfront, but his leadership in large-scale amenities have been crucial in the next phase of the Central City, and we must continue to think big. We would not have had the expansion of this convention center and the Golden One Center without his advocacy, and this will be the last year as mayor. He will be here at our breakfast, and we wish him nothing but the best. We must also foster Sacramento's unique economic strengths and grow academic and research investment downtown. Tech businesses have started relocating to Sacramento. The work GSAC is doing is making a huge difference, and a strong foundation exists around agriculture, food, health, and education with universities like Sacramento State and UC Davis. Why not grow a higher education with a campus downtown? Expanding on current opportunities will also shape Sacramento's identity for workers and employers and create options for the reuse of vacant buildings. One thing that remains clear to all of us, none of this happens if downtown is not clean and safe. Perception leads every discussion we have on downtown. We must continue to advocate for a safer and cleaner downtown. I would be remiss if I did not thank our many PBID partners. I know a lot of them are in the room with us today. We work daily behind the scenes with them to move the needle on necessary items to make Sacramento a more enjoyable place for all. I'd also like to recognize our many business organizations, chamber organizations, and association partners that are here, and also a shout out to the Chamber's new president and CEO, Robert Hyatt. Robert, welcome to Sacramento, and we look forward to working with you. So, these 5 pillars will be critically important to this organization, but they're not our only priorities. These recommendations are only a piece of the puzzle in our efforts to lead downtown to a more sustainable and resilient economy. In closing, I want to say this. We need to rethink the value proposition of what downtown is, not what it was. No one thinks of Atlanta, Boston, Nashville, or Austin as government hubs first. They are vibrant centers for culture, innovation, and hospitality, and yes, they also happen to be capital cities. The moment found those cities. It's now time we find ours.
My name is Raveen Patel.
What's up? My name is Ryan Royster.
My name is Will Thompson.
I'm Danielle Foster.
Sacramento is accessible. It's friendly. It's not this huge city, but it has everything that you need to be successful.
Where we are currently was part of Sacramento's first community and the most diverse community, which was called the West End. Chinatown was here, Sacramento's Japantown, the Black Business District with all the jazz clubs that people like Ella Fitzgerald played in. That spirit, you can feel it when you're down here.
We're a tight-knit community. We support each other, whether it be the downtown partnership or just the local restaurants. You know, we don't push each other down, we actually lift each other up, and when we need help, we come together as a community.
Sacramento's story is one of growth, being the most diverse city in the country. I think it's one of connection. This is a tight-knit community. It is a neighborhood. You can measure the health of the city by the health of K Street.
When the downtown thrives, the whole city thrives. It's the economic engine, it's the center of our workforce, and it's the heart of our city.
You know, increasing the amount of people living here is huge because you need that day to day. How I want to see vacant space used is really the city and state working together with business owners to make it viable. If we limit the hurdles for both sides, we can actually achieve something faster.
I think it's important to develop downtown as we continue to grow as a city and evolve into the next iteration of what downtown Sacramento is to become. We're able to do that in a balanced way where we can honor what's existing and the history of our city while also bringing in the new and bringing in more opportunity.
Create downtown.
Dine downtown.
Gather downtown.
Live downtown.
Kolokotronis, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Sacramento Kings. On behalf of my thank you. On behalf of the organization, I want to thank Michael for your incredible leadership, and I want to thank your team at the Downtown Sacramento Partnership for their commitment to helping us invest in this city. I'd also like to thank Barry Broom, my partner in crime, and the Greater Sacramento Economic Council, who have been instrumental in ensuring continued momentum for our region. And a very special thank you to our fans, the community members, and the elected officials. Gerald Steinberg, I don't know where you are because I can't see, thank you. Our local owners, who despite the doubters, stood with us in difficult times and made the decision to support the arena deal. That clearly was the right decision, and because of it, we are a city on the rise. With the VEX vision, we set out to transform the downtown core, and we are thrilled that we have been able to deliver on that promise. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the arena, I remember looking out at the fans who assembled and thinking we really did do something special for the city of Sacramento, and clearly we have. The passion of the fans came through, and we built an iconic building which has and will continue to have a tremendous impact in our region and the world. Put simply, Golden One Center created an economic renaissance. The Downtown Sacramento Partnership recently released data showing that over $7 billion in direct investment in our central city since the arena groundbreaking, including unparalleled growth in our region, bringing more than 1.5 million people downtown each year. Much more than just basketball, Golden One Center has become a thriving epicenter of entertainment, sports, and community. The arena has been used as a voting center, a home for graduation, youth basketball, and it gives us a tremendous opportunity to honor community leaders and organizations. The arena isn't just a venue, it's a symbol of our city's spirit, resilience, and ambition. It's a place where memories are made, dreams are realized, and our community comes together as one to light that beam. Golden One Center has become a destination for some of the top entertainment acts in the world. In the last month alone, we saw incredible talent like Bad Bunny, I don't know who that is, and Madonna. My kids loved it though. It's become a destination for top sporting events, the NCAA obviously, and the Sacramento Kings. As a result of our hard work and the community's work, and everything that you guys have done for us, the team was awarded the NBA Team of the Year award. This is the first time in franchise history that we got that award, so thank you very much. It has become a destination for important gatherings and community conversations. The Kings are deeply invested in shaping all of Sacramento as a choice of destination, which is why we invested in the River Cats. And we will continue to play a significant role in ushering in a new area of opportunity. From the old Sacramento waterfront to the theater district with diverse small businesses and major attraction filling the streets between, downtown embodies the essence of our community. But we cannot stop there. I'm incredibly proud of the work that the Sacramento business community has put into creating a more prosperous and equitable region for all the residents. And I know there is so much more ahead for us. We are at a critical junction in the future of Sacramento. Together, we live through an unprecedented global pandemic. From crisis arises opportunity, and we have a great one ahead of us to reimagine our core. I am confident in leaders with strong vision, like those who stood with us during the arena deal, that brighter days are ahead. Thank you very much.
A big day for the city of Sacramento and especially for Kings fans. The demolition for the new sports and entertainment complex is fully underway.
Golden One Center built with the intention of boosting the economy in downtown Sacramento.
We're very excited about the impact that the arena is already having, and this is just the start.
Inside Sabonis with a punt. The air bomb called game.
Golden One has generated $7 billion in investment around the Golden One Center.
Golden One Center has been the hub of investment here in the greater downtown area.
They light the beam again in Sacramento.
Well, that was great. So powerful words from a powerful organization. Let's give another round of applause for Matina and the Kings. So now it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage our downtown keynote speaker. He's a downtown visionary, and there's nobody that loves downtown as much as David. Welcome, David Dixon.
Thank you. Thank you
very much for the invitation to be here. I have to say, it is so heartwarming to hear the speakers that we have had the joy of hearing this morning. You know, it's a real gift to have a downtown you can love, and you obviously do. I also want to thank, well, the previous speaker, because I don't know who Bad Bunny is either. And I want to note that my 5-year-old son has finally found his identity vis-a-vis his bigger brother because he loves basketball and his brother doesn't. Anyway, so. This said, I also want to thank Michael for not only the great words and the leadership he's brought to his words today, and leadership he's brought to this organization, but he helped me find my real message. When he talks about the fact that downtown cannot be a destination of obligation, but must be a destination of choice, he could substitute region. He could substitute Sacramento. And I would say there is no place more important to making a region a destination of choice than it's downtown. In fact, I can't think of a region in this country that is more successful than its downtown, and that will be more important going forward. So, to launch in here, the pandemic didn't launch hybrid work, it was a wake-up call. In fact, net absorption of office space in this country has been declining for more than 20 years. It's down by more than 50% really since the year 2000, because hybrid work is a long-term fundamental trend that is due to far more than the pandemic. The pandemic woke us up, and unfortunately we're in for a long wake-up. I don't think the return to work will not be what it was, and is going to take a while to reach whatever it will be. But what the pandemic also did was shine a bright light on the new era of downtown opportunity. And you know, what I'm really here to talk about is resilience and adaptation. Downtowns have had to have been resilient, have had to adapt repeatedly, even since 1950. This is another very difficult, painful, but important period of adaptation. And you know, thank goodness that you have a robust downtown partnership, because the downtowns that are making this transition most successfully and most quickly are those with robust downtown partnerships. Your support is, every one of you does have a role in this new future. So I'm going to start with the sort of the new norm 101, and think of what I'm talking about as sort of foundational material that explains why some of the things that my preceding speakers have talked about are so important. And I'm going to start with our economy. We're not having as many kids as we used to. Our workforce growth has been shrinking. It's now less than 50% of what it was in 2010. In 2040, we will add fewer net new workers than we did in 2010. At the same time, 90+% of net new jobs, that's job creation, that's economic growth, require some education, some higher education, 2 years, preferably even 4 years. A majority of manufacturing jobs today require some higher education. This was true as of last year. Slowing workforce growth, strong concentration of worker requirements with folks who have a strong education. Surprise, surprise, we have a fundamental shortage and an accelerating shortage of knowledge industry workers. 90% of net new jobs in our knowledge economy means 90% of our economic growth is in our knowledge economy. Every city and region in this country is competing for this workforce. And what is most important in where they choose to live and work, to have their economic lives? A vibrant, vital, walkable, mixed-use downtown. And not unrelated to the slowing growth in our workforce is a dramatic demographic shift. So that, and I'm going to just speak in headlines here, over the next 20 years and beyond, not 80%, 81% of net new households will be singles and couples without kids. There are other issues related to this, and I love kids, but this is the most, net new households are our housing market, our housing economy. Our housing economy is 2/3 of our real estate economy. Where people want to live is where real estate investment goes. Today and for the next 20 years, this is not a blip. This is the new norm. We have an unprecedented demand from the housing market to live downtown, to live in mixed-use walkable places, I should say. Nobody does that job as well as a downtown. At the same time, 60+% of our housing supply is single-family detached. That's another question in terms of demand, but and markets going forward. What that means is that every region, including Sacramento, I grew up in Los Angeles, Sacramento I wouldn't say serious, this is about opportunity, has a significant opportunity. I would say unlimited for the foreseeable future market for downtown multifamily housing, driven by the amenity of downtown, the access to jobs. Think thousands and thousands of downtown public employees, state employees. Like me, they're growing older too. They're having fewer kids. That alone is a remarkable downtown market to unlock. And thank goodness that you've got a robust downtown partnership really working on how to do that. I want to emphasize that the importance of downtown is not just about our economy and our real estate, about economic development and our real estate economy. The same trends that make downtown so important from that perspective are reinforced by mobility, I call them disruptions. Some of you may have heard about autonomous mobility. Well, it is happening. Think of it as gravity. It's primarily going to take the form of shared autonomous mobility. It'll be much less expensive, which will thrive in and actually subsidize living in mixed-use, dense locations like a downtown that have a critical mass of trips and destinations. From an environmental standpoint, and whether we suffer the immediate impacts of climate change or not, and actually I think you do in many ways. I didn't realize you have this, following New Orleans, you have the second most levees in the US. Nothing contributes more to environmental responsibility than growing in and up as opposed to out. So with this confluence in mind, how do we really grow our regional economies, grow our city economies, and grow our downtown economy? It starts with innovation. It starts with the companies that are generating the ideas that then attract technology and life science and the other elements of our knowledge economy that really are producing job growth and economic growth. These industries really follow where are creative folks and smart folks going. Jobs and investment follow folks, follow educated workforce these days and creative workforce, not the other way around. So how do we unlock this opportunity? Well, it starts with, as I mentioned, innovation, but innovation starts with attracting talent. And I want to come back to the fact that no region is going to attract the scarce talent that it needs, let alone the city and downtown, without a really lively, vibrant, mixed-use, walkable downtown. This is what draws folks. And believe me, if you've got a good education, you have choice. Therefore, you must be a downtown or regional choice. And over the next couple of decades, our shortage, knowledge economy workforce shortage is going to grow by about 40%. This will increase the importance of downtown to its regions because, again, every region in this country is competing for these folks. And how does it compete? It competes by being a 5-minute downtown, a place where you can work, live, shop, play, enjoy culture, cool music, that wonderful restaurant we heard about, Cesar Chavez Square or Park or whatever it might be. And I have to say, I'm one of the kids who grew up not eating green grapes years ago. Within 5 minutes, that's how far most of us will actually walk. We claim it's a little bit more, without a real destination in mind. And downtown is the place that can offer this 5-minute world. What this 5-minute world in turn does, it attracts talent, but it also unlocks the ability for something called creative collisions. Creative collisions are unplanned meetings. You cannot have an unplanned Zoom call no matter how hard you try. Unplanned meetings, generally between people who work for different companies, where the ideas that generate innovation are born. We do a lot of work with innovation districts, and what do they care most about in a world of hybrid work? They can hire folks from Singapore or Seattle in Sacramento, but they actually, more than ever, want that workforce living within 5 minutes of where they work, so they'll show up at work, but more importantly, so they'll have creative collisions. They'll run into each other. They'll generate the ideas that fuel our economy today. And again, think the power of downtown, the unique power of downtown. So why do we start with housing? Headline, roughly 1,000 net new units, housing units, mixed income, are enough to attract, not fully support, attract the retailers, primarily think food, beer, coffee, and then maybe something to buy, to bring a block of Main Street to life. When you bring that block of Main Street to life, then people want to live, work. It's a virtuous cycle. Really want to live, work, play, whatever they can do downtown. It is the life on the street that brings people. And believe me, we don't walk. It's important to have trees and nice paving, but we really walk because we want to go grab a beer and meet a friend, and we need a place to do that. So what we really have to start with is unlocking, and remember, the market is knocking at downtown's door. The market for multifamily housing and mixed-use walkable places knocking at the door, trying to say, let us in, find the subsidies we're going to need, the support, create more of those, I've forgotten, dreamers who want to start great new businesses. I love that phrase in that, even though I can't remember it in that program. That is what really brings downtown and therefore a region to life in our economy. It starts with housing, the critical mass of people, 1,000 net new housing units who support caffeine, caffeine, beer, and then shopping, attract talent, promote creative collisions, launch economic growth, opportunity, and the cycle continues. So, 2 more benefits. Housing in mixed-use walkable places, and again, think downtown. Remember, 2/3 of our real estate economy, 2/3 of our urban tax base, et cetera, pays considerable premiums. I lost my sentence here. Mixed-use walkable places carry considerable premiums. This is national data. More than 30% for sale housing, more than 40% for multifamily rents. That is a tremendous value premium that can be tapped to pay for affordable housing, parks, schools, the public goods we need. Downtown investing in downtown can create does create more value than investing any other place in a region when it comes to 2/3 of our real estate economy. And go right back to then, so why amenitize downtown? But also, and I think Michael touched upon this, this is San Francisco data. The closer we live to where we work, the more likely we are to show up. And in fact, in San Francisco, folks who live within 2 miles of where they work, if they work downtown, are back in the office to a higher degree than they were when the pandemic hit. And that's something to really stop and think about in terms of what we can unlock for our regions and our economy by creating a lot of downtown housing. And you're out there doing it and doing a great job. But full stop, because I hope none of you have realized, but it's true, that what I've said is very elitist so far. And we have a much larger society than folks who got good educations and went to Sacramento State, et cetera. There are a lot of folks who are being left out of our new economy, and it's very important to bring them in part because when I talk about it's actually a developed worldwide shortage of talent, of educated workforce, it's a zero-sum game. We're all competing with each other. We have to grow our own talent also. And that means not just creating jobs, but really robust workforce readiness, bringing people into the workforce. If you're a single parent, great daycare, and somebody's been in jail, curing that record, so that we have more talent. They'll attract jobs and investment just as much as somebody who went to Sacramento State in the first place if we can get them there. But that also means that we are unlocking the opportunity we're creating downtown and bringing it to the benefit of all of Sacramento. And that's also critical, frankly, when you want folks to vote for dollars for downtown. And of course, housing for everyone, regardless of income, but also age, ethnicity, and all the things that bring us together. When I talk about slowing workforce growth, our workforce would actually be shrinking. We would be Japan without immigration. Being a diverse region is a secret weapon when it comes to growing a workforce. So I'm going to sort of finish with some things to think about to check off. It all starts with walkability, but walkability has to be real. Without that 1,000 new additional housing units, you're not going to have the restaurants and invite people to walk. So start with getting density right and bringing those dreamers to start new businesses. Connectivity, which means places like the arena that make downtown central to the lives of everyone in Sacramento, everyone in the region. A public realm in downtown that means 2 kids can play quietly and thousands of you can gather and celebrate when the Kings win. And authenticity. And authenticity is not about looking like Sacramento did during the gold rush. It's about bringing the living culture of Sacramento today into downtown, affordable artist housing, et cetera. This is a parking garage outside Denver that was a very dull place to walk by until I think they spent more money on banners than what they spent to put artists in the ground floor, 1 bay of parking, and now 25,000 people come every Friday to see those galleries and spend money in local restaurants, and they want to live nearby. This is a great big development in Tampa where the developer is wise enough to say, if we can get the best chefs, the best makers, the best artists here, this place will always be of value, not just when it's brand new. And of course, give everybody a face. We all have something to contribute. Let's make sure we have the opportunity. So I'm going to finish where Michael didn't quite start but finished. The things he talked about, I want to note are, first of all, as he said, all of our responsibility, but whether it's open space, arts, academic and research, our new economy, housing, clean and safe, they all require each other, and they're all easier to achieve if we're achieving the other 4, if that makes sense. So on that note, I'm glad you're all on the same page, and thanks so much for the invitation to be here. Thank you.
Good morning. Try it one more time. I'll look over this. Good morning. They can't hear me. Good morning. Wake up, folks. Come on. We're over there. Good morning. Let's go. Good morning. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to be entering my 2nd year as a board member of the Downtown Sacramento Partnership. Like you, I'm thrilled at the progress made the last year to redefine and revitalize downtown. We truly are in an era of opportunity. A year ago, I had the pleasure of speaking to you at this event about Kaiser Permanente's major role in the transformation of downtown Sacramento into a thriving city center, and also predicted that the Kings were going to make the playoff. And we're going to do it again, right? Light the beam. I can't get claps for lighting the beam and the playoff? Come on. There we go, there we go. It was a pivotal time for Kaiser Permanente and downtown then, and it still is, now more than ever. It was a huge catalyst for boosting downtown's economic health, as well as the health of our communities will be our new medical center in the historic rail yards. This state-of-the-art facility will infuse thousands of healthcare professionals and Kaiser Permanente members who will live, shop, dine, and enjoy the arts and entertainment and sporting events downtown. I'm pleased to tell you that our project has unprecedented momentum just in the past few months. Let's see, there we go, one more slide. Yeah, these headlines tell the story. We filed plans with the City of Sacramento Planning Department earlier this month, and it did not take long for it to get noticed. If you will excuse the pun, we are full steam ahead on the project and hope to break ground later this year. There we go. Progress is happening so quickly that we've created a video to capture and share the excitement about our future medical center with our physician staff and you, the business and community leaders who have been so supportive. But I hope you enjoy the video. Let's take a look.
I'm really excited about the investments we're making in downtown Sacramento. We have a long-standing relationship with the Sacramento Kings. We also have a sports medicine clinic located right in the Golden One Arena. We have DOCO, primary care clinic on J and 5th Street. I'm really excited. We're going to be opening a new hospital in the Rail Yards complex. This hospital will be, I think, a crown jewel in KP.
It will be a full-service hospital. It'll have emergency room, inpatient hospital, and be able to further expand some of our other subspecialty surgical services.
It's a full move of our Morris Avenue facility. We're gonna expand the capacity pretty significantly of a lot of our service lines. To think about like that value stream of how patients flow through the organization, it's really, really exciting from a high-end specialty standpoint.
But beyond just the building being new, beyond the great technology and the incredible services we have there, there's going to be a focus on building a culture there.
You're going to have restaurants steps away, you're going to have shopping steps away, you're going to have the after-work activities, the concert venue, and when you see what it's going to be like to be there, it's really exciting. You kind of like get these pictures running through your head, or you walk through these promenades and you see the people out there. I'm just so happy for our people that are going to be part of that.
Wellness is a big part of this project. So having Kaiser as our anchor that will embrace that way of life and that lifestyle is really kind of critical to the vision of the project. Being a nurse and a doctor is a very demanding job, and it's critical that they have an ability to just get out. They can go get their coffee, they can step out for lunch, they can go for a walk in the park, clear their head. I can't think of a better work environment for an employee to live in than the rail yards in downtown Sacramento.
I'm super excited to see the Rail Yards Hospital being built. And I think this is just a wonderful opportunity to really highlight and showcase the great work and great care that we provide.
Well, part of this amazing thing that's happening to the downtown area, this is like a historic moment for Sacramento.
Looking forward into the future with a new facility that meets the needs of our growing population, we're really going to be focused on making this the best place to work.
How about that? It is going to be a stunning place to work and receive care. I think you can agree. This project has been everything I could have dreamed for and more. It's really one of the reasons I came to Sacramento, and we love it. And I really want to thank my partner in this work, Dr. Rick Patango. Rick, where are you? Did he have to leave? Okay, well, thank him in his absence, our Sacramento Physician-in-Chief, for his leadership in this important expansion of healthcare services for the Sacramento area. And now it is my pleasure to introduce someone who has shown Kaiser Permanente unwavering support and partnership and has had a pivotal role in the exciting transformation of downtown Sacramento, Mayor Darrell Steinberg. I think everyone who's met Mayor Steinberg is impressed by his commitment and passion for making Sacramento a world-class city. We at Kaiser Permanente are grateful for his support and partnership as we work to collectively bring good health to downtown. Please join me in welcoming our Mayor, Darrell Steinberg.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not sure it's easy to be the last speaker. I'm going to bring it home here. I want to, this is my last State of the Downtown address. Or cheers, I'm not sure what. I want to first thank you, Jay, not only for the kind introduction, but for, more importantly, for your belief in the downtown and what you're doing to invest. Kaiser's doing to invest over $1 billion in our downtown. I think that says it all. Michael, Ault, to you and the Downtown Partnership team, thank you. Thank you for always being a partner. Thank you for always being a friend, and thank you for always believing. To all of my city council colleagues who are here today, thank you for your partnership. Thank you to Howard Chan and the entire city team. We are truly a city family, like every family. We have our ups and downs, but we always stick together, and we always try to put the city first. I want to also thank my own outstanding staff, who have been led by Mary Lynn Valenga, who have stood by my side during all these challenging and tumultuous years. I could not do it without you. The county executive, David Villanueva, all the county supervisors, all the other elected officials, and most important, all the people who believe in and have invested in our downtown. An old legislative colleague once said to me, "It's much more fun to serve during good times. It's much more important to serve during challenging times." I want to start by saying something about all of us here in Sacramento, including myself, that sometimes, especially when things are tough, we tend sometimes to turn inwards and focus a little bit too much on what's wrong as opposed to what's going right. Put another way, too often we do not give ourselves enough credit. In the midst of all of these challenges, have you ever stopped to think about how far we have come together? About how far we have come, about how far downtown has come. I get to be a little reflective here today because as my last state of the downtown, as your mayor and as a county elected official, I guess I get the privilege of being able to look back over 30 plus years and provide a little bit of perspective. For 30 years ago, I was part of the younger generation on the Sacramento City Council, and my, how fast time flies. I had long, bushy hair and a mustache, if you want to go back and look at the pictures. We were, back then in 1994, debating the future of our street. The conventional wisdom at the time proclaimed that housing, music, sports, and entertainment would never, ever take hold in downtown Sacramento. Downtown at the time was really big, essential, but boring office buildings. A few, and I mean a few, good restaurants. An arena miles away in a field. An old convention center and theater. Long commutes to get to those offices that closed up at night. So what did we do in 1994? We voted to reject more of the same and instead embraced real mixed use, including housing, entertainment, food, and more. We embraced what we fully couldn't see at the time, and it paid off. It was a small decision, or maybe not such a small decision, but the rest, as they say, is history. I look at our current challenges and say, look what we have done together over these past years. Look at how you and we have persevered through a pandemic, a housing crisis, a mental health crisis. If you go back a little farther, several titanic recessions, and ask, how can we make any other conclusion than that anything is possible? We have visionaries in this city, including many of our developers, restaurateurs, entrepreneurs, who have taken great risks to envision something better for downtown Sacramento. Housing itself. We don't just talk about it. Since 2018, we have permitted 5,819 new units, many of them affordable. The beautiful and iconic Golden One Center, our sports and entertainment district, a new expanded convention center where we stand today, and a beautiful theater. Conventions are booked out until 2027. And a guy named Hamilton is coming again to Sacramento in 2025. We have, yeah, come on. We have a food scene that is so rich and varied, it's hard to keep up with. More entertainment venues like Another Planet that's now under construction at 24th and R. Our city will soon rival Austin as a capital not just of government, but of music festivals, Aftershock, Country Sky, Saul Bloom, and many more to come. It's all that and so much more that makes me nothing but positive about the future of our downtown. Here is what I intend to see through as your mayor with my city council colleagues and our city team in the next 8 months, 14 days, and 10 hours, assuming that the swearing in of the next mayor will in fact take place at 6 p.m. on December the 10th, 2024. Let's go back to 2021, to this very venue and State of the Downtown speech. I called for state workers to come back, and I have trended as their favorite target on Reddit ever since. Now, if we are not over that debate, we're pretty darn close. We're grateful that our state workers are now back 2 days a week. But full-time office work is not happening, and maybe for good reasons. The cost of childcare, the long commutes, the better work-life balance, all of it. We get it. Get me off Reddit. We don't control the future of remote work or the decisions of state government, but we can control how we respond. We are already on our way to defining downtown in a much more exciting and dynamic way. The present and future of this downtown has been stated many times, not just today, but over the past year or two, is housing. It is food, and it is entertainment, sports and entertainment of all kinds, with a still solid but not dominating employment center. The Downtown Partnership's move to strengthen its ties to the governor and the state leadership is smart. We have great congressional representation, of course, but we also have tremendous strength in our own state capital. For the entire business sector, I believe strongly that while cap to cap is important and also a really good time, you all need to put as much effort into a cap to cap that's not 3,000 miles away, but 3 blocks away. Yeah, it's really true. We can complain as we have about the state not paying property tax or the loss of redevelopment, but there are endless opportunities for partnership. When I got $30 million for the rail yards, and our legislative delegation delivered, as they have for the past years, for our neighborhoods, including our downtown, it's only the beginning of what is possible if we are organized, if we are focused, and if we prioritize 1 or 2 or 3 amenities in the next 3 to 5 years. Rebuilding downtown fully, just like the R Street vision 30 years ago, will take years. But here's what we can and will do together before the year is out. Some of it is small, but sometimes the small stuff is the most powerful, like what we will consider tonight or this afternoon at the City Council to raise up the live music scene. You know, it takes, unfortunately, multiple inspections and a large permit fee for a restaurant, even a small business, to be able to host live music during the day and at night. We're going to simplify that beginning tonight by lessening the cost of the permit and by saying that if you already have a fire inspection, no more inspections. Bring in the guitars, bring in the drums, and let's start having live music on Monday nights, on Wednesday nights, during the daytime, in the evening. We can do this, and it's sometimes just the simple things. And some of the stuff that we're going to hopefully do, again, with the support of my colleagues, because I do nothing alone, and I know they deserve acknowledgement. Councilmember Lisa Kaplan. We're going to appoint a District 2 council member tonight, by the way, or this afternoon, I hope, which will be great. Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Karina Talamantes. Councilmember Katie Valenzuela. Vice Mayor Katie Maple. Councilmember Eric Guetta. Coach Councilmember Rick Jennings. And Councilmember Mai Vang, along with Howard Chan and the executive team. This is the excellent leadership of your city. And so with their help over these next months, we've got some things coming that are big and are a long time coming. Much of it is made possible by the passage of Measure N, one of the most underrated ballot measures in the city's history. I don't just say that because I proposed it. And we passed it in 2022. It allows us to use the transit occupancy tax on anything that drives tourism, not just the convention center and not just the theater. We now have $100 million in unallocated transit occupancy tax, by the way, without having to raise the tax a penny or a portion of a penny, without raising taxes that we can not only dream with, we can now invest. One such project is the Convention Center Hotel. We've talked about it before. And now I can tell you at my last State of the Downtown that the land at 15th and K has been leased to Tony Giannone and GAFCON Development out of San Diego. This parking lot will become a 350-room Hilton Hotel, 28 stories, connected by bridge to the convention center. Imagine that. That's where we host the Sacramento Cap to Cap. We can all stay overnight at the new convention center hotel. We will bring the final terms to the City Council after the budget this summer. Also this summer, I will be coming to the City Council with a plan to modernize the old Sacramento waterfront. You've heard it before. We were poised to make this investment back in 2020 before COVID temporarily flattened our hotel tax receipts. And now we are back. I will bring a request for $37 million of TOT capital to the City Council for their consideration. What will this new waterfront plan do? It will connect the river to the people. It will provide a place for date night. How about that? For people, for families to come with raised platforms, more restaurants, a new hotel in collaboration with the state. Thank you to the State Department of Parks and Recreation and John Fraser. Beginning to modernize our waterfront is long overdue. This summer, before I leave this office, we get started. Then we get to the rail. Yeah, come on, one more. Then we get to the rail yards. Again, let's look at the long view. 5 years ago, there was virtually nothing. Now we are completing a $500 million state courthouse on the verge of this iconic Kaiser investment. 1,227 units of senior, affordable, and market-rate housing, and tens of millions of dollars worth of public infrastructure. Kaiser chose the rail yards, I think they would say, for their hospital because they view it as a central part of our city and the region's future. The next 9 months in the rail yards, here's what I'm focused on: soccer and live entertainment. The saga of our long soccer journey, let's be honest, has been quite the challenge. And here's what I want to say, and I say it with pride. Kevin Nagel, DRV, Denton Kelly and his team, and the city have done everything right. For now, and only for now, the MLS has decided to slow down its expansion plans. If they're smart, they'll come back to us. We have the Republic. If they are not formally considered an MLS team, they ought to be. It's just a matter of semantics. They've beaten MLS teams, and no one needs to designate us as a major league city. We are a major league city. Through all of the crazy ups and downs over the last 7 years on this journey, we have never given up. And the next 9 months matter. I hope, I believe, I'm confident that before the end of the year, we will have a major investor to build a beautiful professional soccer stadium in the rail yards, expandable for MLS or any other international league that sees Sacramento the way we all do, and an entertainment district to complement DOCO. This saga can only end one way. That's not all. The rail yard's historic shops are perfect for large entertainment and music venues. In partnership with the River District, we have applied for a $19 million grant through the federal EPA's Community Change Program. The grant will enable us to connect the River District and rail yards to the rest of the city. It will fund improvements to the plaza facing the shops and connect them to the housing, the retail, the new Kaiser Hospital, and to the Sac Valley Station, our local intermodal and regional transit hub. The rail yards, to me, is a microcosm of all that is possible and what it takes to ultimately break through. You try, you succeed, you fall down, you try again. Start seeing the impossible come out of the ground and never, ever give up. What is it going to take? It seems to me that we have all the pieces in place, even with our challenges. If 25 years ago we couldn't imagine the downtown we are building today, what will the next 5 to 10 to 25 years bring? Yes, we have a current budget deficit, and the traditional role of city government still does not include real funding for sustained economic development. That must change. The downtown needs more local funding for critical infrastructure. Either we follow through on a central city or citywide infrastructure finance district, or a county tax measure that doesn't subsidize sprawl, but instead focuses on infill housing, safe streets, and public transportation. It should never be about benefits to specific projects. It needs to be squarely focused on affordability, sustainability, walkability, and overall quality of life, not just for the downtown, but for the rest of our city and county. Our economy and our politics are rapidly changing in the new Sacramento. We grew up over the past century as a government town, with land use and development being our most important private sector driver. The Kaiser investment, Aggie Square, the growth of food, technology, tourism, and entertainment in our city, the rightful insistence on climate inclusion and equity signal a very new trajectory that requires a new and different way of growing than we are used to. As a prime example, the future needs of our downtown and our entire city demand that the next infrastructure ballot measure, whether it be 2026, 2028, or beyond, not be funded by just a few interests with large projects. The power and politics in the city have traditionally been centered on organized labor, especially public employees and the development community. Again, the developers have been the visionaries here. They still have a strong say, as they should. But younger people, especially, are demanding that their voices also be heard, especially around quality of life and equity. The results of the March mayoral election were close. The results, in my view, were also instructive. The vote revealed a city where a strong majority of voters are increasingly center-left. Center-left. That may have always been the case, or often the case, but to me, it's even more clear. The voters of Sacramento want growth, but they also want the growth to be consistent with addressing our climate crisis. The voters want growth. They also don't want to be priced out of the housing and the other good things that the city is providing and will continue to provide, especially young people. They want downtown to be the center, but they also want all of the neighborhoods of the city to get the attention they need and deserve. They want a strong police and fire department, but they also want more than Band-Aids for our social problems. The old political framework that pits development against neighborhoods is old and tired. The new political reality provides a positive roadmap if we choose to follow it. Today's progressive candidates have to be for economic growth. They have to be for business, for downtown, if they are serious about creating opportunity for everybody. And the business community, in my view, has to focus less on tagging candidates and electeds as pro or anti-business and embrace our collective obligation to grow in ways that allow everyone to thrive and enjoy all the city will offer in the years to come. The only way to achieve great things in a city and a downtown as dynamic and as diverse as Sacramento in the coming years is to create new and broader coalitions, Find the genuine intersections between business, the neighborhoods, and the organizers, between business and labor. This is how, and I think the only way, we will have more big downtown breakthroughs in the years ahead. Create some unexpected coalitions. Embrace some of these new voices and get to know them. Break out of the old paradigms. He or she who can cross over and embrace some parts of the other side will have the greatest success. As the next mayor and council take shape, and as I see this stage, support them as they support you, not just at election time, but as they're trying to meet the needs of wildly diverging constituencies. Step into their shoes as you expect them to step into yours. Your jobs trying to make dreams come alive in Sacramento are not easy, and neither are theirs. My favorite 2 weeks during my 7+ years as mayor of this city came last spring when the Kings battled the Warriors in the playoffs. I wish it had ended differently, but this year it will. Don't even know if the Warriors will make the playoffs. For 2 weeks, people from all walks of life and all parts of the city celebrated something pure and unifying. The joy and the optimism was everywhere. And everybody was talking to each other. Now, I know not everything in life and in civic life is a game. Politics, governance, business, activism, none of it is easy. And there are real conflicts. It never should be easy when you're trying to achieve something great. But those 2 weeks, we overcame 16 years of frustration. Can we summon the same joy, optimism, and purpose as we continue to build a new downtown and a city that belongs to everyone? I know we can. Thank you very much, everybody.
We will get you out of here. I do want to acknowledge just one more time, thank our presenting sponsor, Stantec, Kaiser, SMUD, the Kings, Sacramento Investments, thank you. Bottom line, we've got a lot of work to do. We are in this with you. You have our commitment from our organization. I know my wife, Kristin, and I, when we talk about this community, we are proud to call this home. Our team believes in this. This is personal to us, and we are not backing away from what we know is a challenge. Lab Rats, our band, thank you.